Oh no! Look what Hela did to Thor's hammer! No! Thor Ragnorak, directed by Taika Waititi, the man that directed Hunt for the Wilder People and What We Do in the Shadows, starring Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Tom Hiddleston, Cate Blanchett, Anthony Hopkins, Jeff Goldblum, Tessa Thompson, Carl Urban, and Benedict Cumberbatch. This is the third movie in the Thor franchise. Stars once again Chris Hemsworth as the God of Thunder, Thor. And in this movie he has to go up against his sister, Hela, played by Cate Blanchett. When he goes up against his sister, Hela destroys Thor's hammer and sends Thor to the planet Sykar, which is ruled over by a man called the Grandmaster, played by Jeff Goldblum. There, Thor has to fight in a gladiator match against the Incredible Hulk, and after that he has to assemble a team in order to defeat Hela. Among that team he has himself, his adopted brother Loki, Tessa Thompson's character Valkyrie, and of course the Hulk. Later on we meet up with Benedict Cumberbatch's character Doctor Strange and Carl Urban's character Scourge the Executioner teams up with Hela to fight against Thor. You have Idris Elba's character Heimdall somewhere in the mix, and that's pretty much our movie. Now, I really wanted to see this movie because I do like the Thor franchise, even though it is the weakest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. I did like the first Thor movie a lot. The second movie, I agree with a lot of people, is the weakest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe franchise, but I still like the movie. Just that the main problem for the movie with me was the fact that Kat Dennings' character Darcy is more annoying in that movie than she was in the first movie. But thankfully, she's not in this movie! Hooray! No Darcy, no Kat Dennings. No Natalie Portman either, no Jane Foster, and no Stellan Skarsgård, no Eric Selvig. So all three Earth characters are not in this movie. And the four main Asgardian characters that are Thor's friends, Sif, played by Jamie Alexander, and then you have the Warriors 3, Volstagg, played by Ray Stevenson, Hogan, and Vandal, played by Zachary Levi. They really don't get that much screen time in this movie, and I don't want to spoil what happens to them, but I am not totally happy with what happens to them in this movie. And Sif is not even in the movie, which is a real shame. She's not even mentioned. That doesn't even make sense, but oh well. I hear Jamie Alexander got another TV show called Blind Spot, and that's why she's not in the movie, but it would have been nice to have her character at least be mentioned to say why her character is not in the movie. Maybe she's off on another mission or something. Whatever. Now, Chris Hemsworth is great as Thor, and he does a great job in this movie. Then you have Cate Blanchett as the villain, Hela. Now, in the comic books, Hela is Loki's daughter, and I was wondering how they were going to work in the character of Hela, and when I find out that her connection is changed to Thor and Loki's sister, I thought, oh, that's brilliant! That is an awesome way to work Hela into the mix. And she is great in the movie, being played by Cate Blanchett. I think she's definitely one of my favorite MCU villains. When Chris Hemsworth lands on the planet Sykar, we meet the Grand Master, played by Jeff Goldblum, who is great in the movie. I love Jeff Goldblum, and he does a great job playing this character. It's very much like a Julius Caesar kind of ruler. Mark Ruffalo was great as the Hulk. This is probably one of the best performances of Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk that I've seen in this movie, and I really like the way the Hulk was done in this film. And then you have Taika Waititi's own character, Korg, in the movie, this rock alien, and he's great in the movie. I thought he was pretty funny, a little bit different than the Korg character from the Planet Hulk animated film, which the sidecar portion of the movie is referencing. But I did like this version of Korg. And one of the other things I did like is there's a character in the movie named Meek who really is reduced to just kind of like a comic relief joke, and that I liked very much because in the animated film Meek is very annoying, so you really don't get to hear Meek in this movie, and that was very refreshing. And Tom Hiddleston is excellent, again, as Loki. I really did like him in the movie. And then you have Carl Urban as Scourge the Executioner, one of my favorite characters from the Thor world. And it was just great seeing him finally in the movie. And Anthony Hopkins does a great job as Odin, Thor's father. Finally, we have Benedict Cumberbatch showing up in the movie as Doctor Strange, and I did like him in the movie. You know, he doesn't get that much screen time. The action in this movie is really good. The comedy is very good. The visuals are excellent. I really did like this movie, and this is definitely my favorite of the Thor franchise, but I do have some problems with the movie. One of the main problems is what happens to the Warriors 3, Volstagg, Van der Rohe, and Hogan. I wanted to see more of them in the movie, and they don't really get that much screen time, unfortunately. I understand you want to put most of the focus on Thor, but these three characters are his three best friends, and it would have been nice to see more of them in the movie. Same thing with Lady Sif. She's not even in this movie and not even mentioned in the film, which is a really disappointment. Jamie Alexander's character. And then there's the comedy in the movie. I did like much of the jokes within this film, but some of the comedy was a little bit much, and I kind of wish they toned it down just a little bit, and that's pretty much it when it comes to flaws. But overall, this was a really great movie, and the music done by Led Zeppelin, the Immigrant Song, was used so well. They used the song twice in the movie, and that was great. There's also another character in the movie called Surtur, played by Clancy Brown, who is awesome. He's this big devil-like character, and he was great in the movie as well. So I really like this movie. I'm going to give this movie an A-. Definitely check out Thor Ragnarok.